Okay, what's good? What's good? What's happening, everybody? Yeah. It's been good few couple of hours tangu nimalizane video ingine ndo nimeanza kutengeneza hii and it was fun the other one. Editing ilikuwa stupid. Don't know if I'll do something like that again, labda. Gani labda mtaniambia mkiongezekanga, lakini wale watu mnaonanga mko hapa na mimi, thank you, your eyes mean a lot to me, you beautiful eyes. So here's the thing, tuko na a new thing to talk about today. It's really the hatred of billionaires still, but hini like or not really hatred, a distrust, a strong distrust due to factual evidence that of things that are happening. But sahi tuko na something, nimekuwa nikidum scroll kidogo hivi kidogo alafu nikastukia land upon like middle class collapse video collage, kitu kaa hiyo ilikuwa spectacular. So nimeona niangalie nizichunguze, niwapatie a bit of highlights. I'll be cutting in between kupatiana some summary ya ile kitu nilikuwa nawaambia juu ya money not existing na mabillionaires ku control the world by convince watu about the 9 to 5 thing and everything and the middle class and how it was aroused. Nika bait, unajua vile unaekeanga samaki bait hapo, ikishauma unaipula. Yeah. But for now watu wengi hadi huko US wameanza kuona things are not as they seem, as they were promised. It seems like a scheme of the pyramid kind. So yeah, acha tucheki narudi now.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Let's get into it. There's something fundamentally wrong with the way that we work now. The expectations that society has on us for getting into the 9 to 5. We spend the first 18 to 23 years of our life in school to supposedly get a job that's supposed to provide for us, that's supposed to help us attain some kind of relative comfort at some point in our lives, but it doesn't seem to be like that anymore.
And see, yeah, that's just the thing. Unapata hadi huku like the system, the system convinces you that you have to follow a regiment, and this, what's it called, the routine of those that came before you. Kama yo vile unaambiwa, hey, you go to school, blah blah blah, all of a sudden you will be successful. They don't tell you the in-betweens. They don't even tell you how to do taxes or anything. It's just expected. You go to school and then this will happen and then this will happen. Now in America, the jobs may be there, they just may be shitty. Here in Kenya, no, not shitty as in what you do, because what you do doesn't really determine. It's what you get compensated for what you do. But here in Kenya, the jobs were never there to begin with. It started, actually, I have a theory, it started somewhere around the late 1990s, and then it slowly began creeping up before anyone realized it. You have, I don't know, a population of 3 million and jobless people just chilling. That's why, Kenyans on Twitter are like a whole thing, because you find a lot of people on that app might not exactly have a job, and their job is to literally, make your life a living hell. So don't try them. Don't
commit 40, 50, 60 hours a week to this system that's supposed to promise us these things. But we need to ask ourselves now, is it worth it? Is working that 9 to 5 going to provide me or you with the things that we want in life, the things that we need in life? And of course not. This system's broken and in reality only benefits a few. So yes, there was a time where the average income and the cost of living were close enough where the 9 to 5 life could provide enough for a large swath of Americans to live out that American dream. And in that time, people could take pride in their work. They had fulfillment. Now it's different. With no equitable outcome for the average person, the 9 to 5 has taken on a more insidious role. Originally the purpose.
And by insidious role, big mandem actually means that the 9 to 5 has become somewhat of the, how would you put it, in colloquial, the slave mill. Yeah, it's become like a slave mill. It keeps grinding and grinding and grinding the bones and the tears and the sweat of the workers, and then churning out profit and not, equally dividing the pie. You who has put in most of the labor gets the crumbs, and then the big part of the pie remains to those who have access to the raw materials and the means of production. That's basically how it goes right now in the world as we speak currently. And that's why even in America the jobs are being outsourced, because at some point in time the middle class was doing so well that it was too expensive to pay them to act as cheap labor, because they weren't willing to act like that anymore. Like, nah, we good, bro, we pay. So some jobs went abroad. Unluckily for us here in Africa, they really don't like us that much. They'd rather do that with India. So joblessness is still here. Yeah.
Originally the purpose of the 9 to 5 was to attain this kind of golden mean, a measured and reasonable way of life, a way of security and peace, a kind of in-between opulence and being destitute. It's not necessarily striving for actual wealth, actual richness, just some sense of ownership, some sense of surety, a place in between that average, that golden mean. And what we have instead is a system that keeps people on a cliff's edge, where even a simple change in wind could send people falling into ruin. But what's worse is that in the
American dream back in the day wasn't really like ile ati unafikiria ka vile akina Gucci Mane wanaishingi na malambogini mingi, sijui tatu, Mayuras, nini. Hata back in the day hazikuwa, but Lamborghini zilikuwa. It's not that, haikuwa hiyo, ilikuwa tu the ability to be, to have the capability to buy your own car, your own house, take care of your family, buy land, maybe like a vacation home one, not like how billionaires be balling. Oh, I just bought my 10th yacht. Oh, I have a yacht to take me to my yacht. Oh, the yacht that takes me to my yacht is smaller than the yacht by 100 square meters. Oh, they don't even use square meters, they use feet. 100 feet. Oh, so yeah, it wasn't that. The American dream back in the day was just being able to live, live, not survive. Now people over there are surviving. They're being welcomed, ushered into the third world. And you know what? Welcome, my boy. It's lonely out here. The third world is full, but it's pretty lonely.
That golden mean. What we have instead is a system that keeps people on a cliff's edge, where even a simple change in wind could send people falling into ruin. But what's worse is that in this system, that fall is inevitable, it's built in, it's expected. The ladder that we once relied on to kind of move up in life has been taken away from us. And as prices rise,
as it is, if the system was rigged to fail from the get-go, then we are all screwed the world over.
The ladder that we once relied on to kind of move up in life has been taken away from us. And as prices rise and as income remains stagnant, the metaphorical fingers that are gripping onto the edge of that cliff are really beginning to tire out. And what we're seeing is the cost of living is turning into the cost of survival.
See, just so happens that when you work for a corporation that doesn't really give a hoot about you, if they expect you to fail, it's more likely that you will fail. Like if you're getting too much work done, then that's not good. If you're getting too little work done, that's not good. Because if you're getting too much work done, you might want to get paid more. and if you're getting too little work done, you might want still to get paid the same, but you know you're not doing a good a job as they want you to do. You know, they want you to give it all you've got for minimum wage, which is something we don't even understand here in Kenya, because minimum wage here, anyone can pay you whatever the heck they want. People are full of pride, and you know, it's stupid. But sometimes here in Kenya, you have to like chase down your money from your employer. I know you guys have direct deposit and shit in America, but yeah, huku lazima ukimbishane na mtu bana. Pesa lazima ukimbishane na mtu bana. The hustle isn't even doing the job. The hustle is trying to get your money after you did the job, you know. So
And of course, we can ask, how did we get this far? And is this something that's happened all of a sudden? No, this is something it's been a slow build. And I think at its root cause really is kind of due to the economic and financial malfeasance of our betters. And this has been going on for generations. And us poors, us thrifts, are quickly changing from working class to peasant class. It's kind of as if the average American...
So yeah, as I said before, the system was rigged from the beginning, from the get-go. It's been a long time coming. Hii kitu imekuwa ikitranspire for over hundreds of years, or maybe 100 if we are kutoka 1920s. That's when like the Federal Reserve, the 20s, that's when it started kicking off, you know, around those times. I'm not sure about the dates, but the people that think they are the elites, because they have all that money, and you can't even print, but like Jeff Bezos' net worth, you know, you can't print it out in money and give it to him, because then we'll go and kill him and take his money, obviously. So they have, they don't even operate with the cash. They operate with, like, you know, credit. They borrow money against one of their assets, and they use that money for the rest of their lives if they need to. And then by the end of their life, you know, the credit pays itself somehow. So yeah,
American people, the normal American people, people like you and I, have lost some kind of great war that's never been fought. And we've been robbed of our birthright of simple opportunity. Because to participate in that 9 to 5, you know, to agree with that kind of traditional work contract that we've had for going on 100 years ago. I think it's Henry Ford who really started the 9 to 5. But to agree...
Oh, Henry Ford, yeah, it's an important name to note, that one, you know. Note also Andrew Carnegie, and who's this other guy? There's a bunch of Vanderbilts, you know. There's a bunch of rich people back in the day who took part in like crafting the path that the world would follow, you know, the leaders of the Industrial Revolution. Like our the way modern day kuna kina Zuckerberg na nani hao na chart the path for like the next frontier, which is our minds and these phones inside, because these phones are just a byproduct of what we can sense with our minds. So it's just an extension of us. Now, the rules that these new oligarchs are crafting for us are way more sinister than the ones that were there in the Industrial Revolution, because the ones of the Industrial Revolutions are just coming to fruition now. So you don't know what the fuck Akina Zuckerberg are planning for you, Bill Gates, all those megalomaniacal idiots. You don't know what the heck they're planning. So that's why I'm telling you, billionaires are not your friend, you dumbasses, okay? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Just think about that.
That is, each of us kind of agrees to a type of indentured servitude where the term extends well into our past, our golden years. In many cases now, people unable to retire until they eventually pass away. When we look around us now, we look at the situation of those who've been paying into the system their entire lives, and there's an epidemic of homelessness and people living in their vans. And I'm not just talking about people in their 20s, people in their 30s, but we're talking about an epidemic of elderly people living in cars, living in their vans. And a lot of people say that...
So now you have a world scenario where one side of the world cannot even get jobs, you know, India, Asia, Africa, the A's have it, the A's cannot even find jobs. Meanwhile, you have America, the other A, which has the jobs, but it also has the evil oligarchs and they don't want to pay anyone. So you might end up working your way to death. And I'm not talking about like Jesus' death, like Jesus worked for 3 years, then he got crucified. Oh, he was only 33. Nah, you might find yourself working your way to death by like you die at 90, and the only time you got to retire was when you were 99 on your deathbed type shit. What does that sound like to you? Slavery. You're welcome.
And a lot of people say that this is a natural way of downsizing, but I think that this is really a symptom of a failed society, because I will judge a country harshly based on two things: how you treat your elderly and how you treat your animals. And I think it's a tragic and very angering thing to see so many elderly people resign to live in their car, resign to live in a van.
So yeah, in conclusion, I would like to say that the fact that there are people out here that literally worship money to the point that they will be willing to work and praise people who perpetuate such types of what's it called, injustices in the world. At the very least, if you have like that much money, you can provide your workers with a comfortable wage so that they can also live comfortably, so that the productivity increases that way, I would believe. Because if everyone is disgruntled to the point that you have to keep a revolving wheel of workers, anytime anyone asks for a salary increase, they're just kicked out the door because there's like 28,000 people out there. Makes the world a whole lot lonelier, I would say. But who am I to judge anyone who has all that money? They are your gods, right? So until next time, it's been real, my boy. Catch you on the flip side for real.